Imagine, if you will, a completely useless and irrelevant podcast. You don't have to. You've downloaded this one, where two of the three hosts are connected by a third who isn't nearly as smart or funny as they are, but yet does most of the talking. Biff, the smart one, a Japanese native and resident of California by way of Toronto, is a computer programmer, yet is plagued by tech issues most episodes. Biff has played hockey with Jacques since the late 90s. But if Biff is so smart, why does he continue to co-host this podcast? Joe, considered by all who know him, including all the comedian guests they've had, to be the funniest person they know. Yet Joe says the only funny thing about him is his life is a joke. Gifted or cursed, you decide, with encyclopedic knowledge of video games, game shows, and 80s sitcoms. Then there's Jacques. What can be said about Jacques he won't say about himself repeatedly over the course of this episode, as he has every episode before of this Batman Forsaken podcast. The signpost up ahead says turn around, stop listening, but you're still here. Sad. You've just crossed over into the Carnival Personnel Podcast Zone. I'm dumb. Biff, I don't know.
No.
No, Biff,
No.
I don't know how Christmas is going to be for one of my little guys. I saw his note to Santa.
Really? What did the note say? Why don't you tell me what the note said?
Define good.
I'm just going to tell your kids there's no Santa.
Well, you know what? Thank you for bringing that up. My kids have said they found the presents this year. They know there's no Santa. And I told them, oh, there's a Santa. We just always have to buy your presents because you're always on the naughty list.
Yeah, whatever. Yeah.
Always on the naughty list. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Carnival Personnel. Good old pal Jacques here.
Now this is Biff.
Ho, ho, ho. Merry non-denominational holiday. This is Joe.
So, couple things, guys. Last week's podcast guest, Wayne and Anthony, and good old what's-his-face from Open Mic Pain. Joe, how much fun was that conversation?
Yeah, it was very fun. I enjoyed making fun of you as much as they enjoyed making fun of you.
That was one of the best parts when Anthony's like, Joe, do you just follow Jacques around life, trolling him? Oh, that's the lemon you're going to pick out?
Up here I do. Up here in the brain.
So that was a super, super fun. Those guys are great. First of all, I love their comedy. You know, that's first and foremost. They do have one of my favorite podcasts, and they're really good dudes, really good dads, but that was a really fun conversation. That said, it's hard to say that next week's sideshow that we just recorded, if it's not my favorite sideshow, or maybe it's in the top 5 episodes of any show we've done, in my opinion.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No. Incredible. Yeah. I mean, and obviously, well, what's really great about it was that there was this 5-minute stretch where the guest is talking and not Jacques, which is not, I'm not really used to that.
Our guest next week is one Bill Fay. Look him up. That's all. I mean, it's funny because,
well, look him up on IMDb.
Or just give him a Jeeves. Check it. You know, give it a good old G's. It's funny because Wayne and I have recently had a conversation based on some of the people who have declined coming on either one of our podcasts, which is kind of funny. And I get it. Look, people are busy. People have stuff. But I'm going to sound like the dick I am. We've had some amazing guests, like some authors and some legit rocket scientists, some business tycoons, some big TV development people, but and I get it, some great comics, some great comics. But Bill, founder, creator of Legendary Pictures, executive producer of at least 30 movies, which we've paid to go see.
I mean, but yeah, bottom line, like if you look him up on IMDb and look at the list of movies, and if you've seen none of them, we question who you are.
I could have done a podcast on each movie. I wanted to ask, and we just didn't have the time. Well, we did have the time, but is it harder to make a movie adaptation of a graphic novel or a redo? Because they redid Clash of the Titans, and the bar because that's such a beloved movie. And I remember having a conversation with them about they really wanted to get the owl in there, the mechanical owl, because you had to. You can't. It's kind of to have it in the same capacity as last time when it worked, but they would have burned the theaters down to the ground if you didn't somehow have that mechanical owl.
Yeah, and I mean, he also made a little movie called Assimilate. Hello, anyone?
But you gotta love how
and Independence Day. Yeah, that's right.
Even
1A and 1B in my book of movies.
No, but it's funny how he was like, how do you remember all that? And when I threw out the numbers, and he's like, Jacques, I'm not allowed to have conversations, so those numbers you threw out, you're just finding somewhere else and making up, but it was, and some of my favorite stories that he told when he was a young kid just out of college, and he accidentally invested way too much in it. And
you'll have to hear it on the podcast next week.
Yeah. But he's such a fun guy.
We have to be careful what we're previewing, because it might get edited out before then, right?
No, that's true. Good point. But it was a super, like I said, I've known him over 20 years. I don't know a less assuming guy. And an industry based on ego and bravado and all. He is the nicest. He doesn't have any right being as nice as he is, being as accomplished as he is. If anybody
nice to you as he is.
No, dude, what the fuck? I mean, honestly, the number of times, like I said, once a month, once every 2 months, I would find a reason to be in Burbank and be on the lot. And again, like Joe and I have talked about, and you and I have talked about, Biff, I mean, I never tired of driving by the Disney Studios in Burbank and seeing the Seven Dwarfs as the pillars, or going by the Animaniacs, house, the water tank on the lot. Or how many times I go to Universal and just absolutely love everything about it. So that was super fun. So guys, thank you for jumping on that. And again, he's just such a super guy. And as you could tell, he's so excited about me jumping on his Happy Texas play that will be moving forward, that you'll hear about next week. Yeah, because obviously he needs me. Am I right?
Well,
you got that feeling.
Yeah, whatever. Yeah, sure.
You know who else needs us? This audience. Thank you so much for letting us into your ears. Jacques, what's on the docket these 2 next weeks, or the past 2 weeks? I don't even know what I'm saying. What's on the docket? What's the hot item that you want to talk about now?
We were going to do a sideshow next week to commemorate the life and accomplishments of the great Norman Lear. Passed away last week. Again, it's like when Betty White passed away at 99, and people are saying it was too soon. And same, Norman Lear just was prolific up until the very end. Writing books, giving lectures. By all accounts, if you followed him on Twitter, just being a really good guy.
Yeah.
I have his book. Like, I have his autobiography. It's down there somewhere. I haven't opened it yet. I have it though, and I maybe will be now inspired to read it now that he's gone, in his memory.
Yeah, we will do, and I don't want to do it. Hey, this is his career in chronological order. When we have our conversation, I like it to be what it meant to us. Like, our formative years, the shows that he put out there. Long before, like, people in the mainstream started talking about diversity. This is a guy, putting together a mostly black class with the Jeffersons and, B.
Good
Arthur,
times.
Good times. I mean,
in a way, right? I mean, Archie Bunker is the original Stephen Colbert, right? In a way, right?
Right.
So,
fun fact, and this is and I've talked about it 1,000 times. Archie Bunker was based on not really a book, a pamphlet that was distributed in New York schools, and it was called Mr. Bigot, and it was a guy who's awful, and look at this guy who's being an awful bigot. It was an anti-racism thing long before it was cool to be anti-racist. And Archie Bunker was supposed to be the most hated man in television.
right.
But people said, yeah, you know what? He says some horrible things, but look, he's hardworking. He's supporting his daughter. He's supporting his, freeloading son-in-law. Like they, more and more people, and I hate to say it, with like
identified with them.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, they saw them as a hero, and like the wrong people were kind of getting the wrong messages from Archie Bunker. And now we have wrong sounding presidents.
But even they recognized it at the time, and they changed his. But the thing is, with his character grew. It had these moments. But at the same time, it also. Is there? Yes, there's as big moments, but I don't know if there's a bigger moment than Sammy Davis Jr. kissing Archie Bunker.
Yeah.
Like an interracial kiss on TV.
Yeah.
Between two dudes. You know what I mean? It's like that. But again, it's like you look at everything. And Joe and I were kind of joking. Maybe we'll
So we're starting to talk too much. We'll talk about it next time.
Right.
What's going on?
It's the holidays. What are you guys doing? I mean, how are you guys stocked up for Joe, you got older kids, but they're home. Biff, you got an older kid, you're home. I mean, are the holidays still big?
It hasn't been. It's one of those things where we had a couple of bigger holidays when, when my stepson brought his kid over for Christmas, but that's not happening this year. So we're like,
You, Joe?
Well, the last week we've had half of my family were very sick, like they came down with something, they're getting over it now, but that kind of, put a speed bump in our preparation for Christmas. Like I just hauled the plastic tree out of the basement this morning. We the pre-lit plastic tree that I'm sure will biodegrade over centuries from now.
It's not going to, with the global warming, it's just going to melt.
That's true. Right. Yeah. Or it'll just become the new tree. That's just what trees will be in the future is this pre-lit.
I don't know if you know this, Jacques, and maybe you don't because, it never gets taken down. But like when you put up Christmas decorations, you also have to take it down. Like,
who says?
Yeah, that's where we fail, Biff. That's where you and I are failures.
First of all,
anybody, whoever, people who put up the Christmas decorations and then take them down.
Let me check out the book of how things are supposed to. Oh, right. First of all, nothing rule book says an elephant can't pitch. That's right. That's right in there. We got that covered.
He actually picked up a book for that joke. Yeah, we're on a podcast, dude.
Yeah,
but I will say, our Halloween decorations stay up year round. Yeah. Our house does. It looks like a mashup of the Munsters and Addams Family. The difference, we have this great 1972, organ that looks like something out of like Phantom of the Opera, and we have a skeleton sitting at that. Boom! Pop the Santa hat on him.
Right.
Outside, same thing. We have one of our 12-foot skeletons, and right now, boom. Santa shirt, Santa cap, and we strung Christmas lights on his hands to make it look like and the skeletons that stay out year round by the bar scene, and we move them around.
What? So, are you going to take the Santa hat off at a certain
point? Oh, no, we will we have to take the Santa hat on because St. Patrick's Day is right around the corner. And
I'm just saying that's, that's the work that I just don't want to bother doing.
I will. Well, it's funny because about 3 years ago, the wife had said it one day. It's like there's, and it's akin to,
our friend All-Star Tommy one day when he came in with the patch sewn in on the First Star jersey, and his wife's like, there are lights that have been out of this house for years.
And you have time for that shit.
You have time for this. It's like it was one day she came home and the ADD kicked in, and I spent 7 hours set decorating outside. Went to Savers, got Hawaiian shirts for the 6 skeletons out there. I don't know if I've talked about it on the podcast, but I was telling Joe 4 times, and it just happened last week. It's the 4th time in about 18 months people have brought stuff and put it with our displays, like that like an extra skeleton, a skeleton dog, like just people add to it. But right now I went to Savers and I got a couple ugly Christmas sweaters for some of the skeletons, which again, in a couple months, maybe I'll do something for Valentine's Day. Maybe I'll do something for, the pine tree in the front yard. It stays there year round. I can't do anything about it.
Are you going to have a skeleton giving an I Have a Dream speech for Martin Luther King Day? Is that on the, no?
Too much? just Joe,
I'm not a very good person.
So our holiday, it's, and this year, again, a little, I don't want to say bittersweet, but where we live, there's a Christmas tree farm 5 houses away. And every year we walk over, old guy who runs a farm, Rowley's Farm, doesn't have any children to leave it to. But donated it to the Audubon Society 2 years ago, saying, hey, this is the last year for Christmas. Next year, we're going to do the tomatoes and corn, then one more year of Christmas trees, and that's it. He couldn't help himself, and he did 2 more years of the farm. It was great to have the corn, but this is the last year of the Christmas trees. But Joe, you took your Christmas tree out pre-lit. I've seen it. It's nice. It's quaint. It's sweet. We have a real tree, and management has gotten her dream tree. We just got a sectional from Jordan's, finally came in, pink couch. She got a pink Christmas tree to go with it. Oof. So we have 2 dueling Christmas trees.
It is the year of Barbie, so yeah, fitting.
And it is. It's great. And I'm me, so she got it. She loved it. She got these bulbs. I was at Target, saw a bunch of decorations that fit, got it, put it on. So it is. We still do the elf thing with our kids, which is great, which, they tell us to stop doing it, and it's ridiculous, and we're pathetic. And then one morning I'll forget to have moved him, and they'll be like, you didn't move Martellus. It's like, so they tell us to stop, but the one day, like last week, that I forgot that Martellus didn't move, driving to school, the little one was like, you didn't move Martellus. I'm like, oh, okay. I don't do that. Something must have happened. He must, one of you guys must have touched him.
Right. He got lazy this. He's a little lazy this year. He's a little shifty.
But we've got all the fun little accoutrements that go with different sweaters. You can order different. There's people on Etsy who have Batman sweaters and Hello Kitty sweaters. So is it for kids or is it for me?
Yeah. And although so we're gonna do the Christmas decorating, but I told the kids, sorry. Thanks to Bidenomics. There's not going to be any presents this year. We were way too selfish with ourselves the past couple of years. Unless you want me to sell all of this gold behind me, which is not happening. I'm sorry.
So if you'll indulge us, the rest of your family, the talented portion of your family, they're on an outing right now. Joe, what kind of Christmas outing is your family partaking in as you sit here and talk to Biff and I?
They're Christmas carolers. Wow. Those people you make fun of and throw snowballs at if there were snow?
If there was snow. No, it's Biff, it's a full-on thing. It might as well be 1880. And their costumes are exquisite.
Right.
That's
cool.
It's a real and they've been doing it. When did your boys start? How old were they when they started doing this?
I don't know, maybe in their teens, it's about 5 or 6 years ago, I guess. I don't know.
No, it's been earlier than that. I think
you know my family better than I do.
I talk to them. They're fantastic. They're fantastic.
I'll talk to them one of these days.
At your wake,
God willing.
they're not going to find the body. But no, and so yeah, there's no young ones in the house. Do you put up a tree, Biff? Do you put up lights?
We'll see what happens. We'll see what it's,
Dad must have not put up the Christmas decorations yet.
Listen, I am not in charge of any of that kind of stuff. So
I was quoting not Elf.
That was Scrooge. Yeah.
Dad must have not got a chance to put up the Christmas lights yet.
Right. Every other house on the block is lit, and theirs is drab and dreary. Yeah. That's 6 pounds of veal. You know how much your family would kill for a present like that?
In today's market, that's $100 of meat, $100 of meat right there. So I do, dude. I have my Christmas playlist. I have 2 of them on the listening device next to me. I won't say out loud because it will start playing.
Oh, Alexa.
But it's headphones, baby. Nice try. But no, it is. I do. I love it. I love the season. It doesn't come fast enough. It goes too fast. I cry at all the movies. I cry at half the songs. I get choked up. And now what's really nice is, even though the youngest one is 13, he's not over it. He still likes a lot of it, but he has a couple friends who aren't from here, who haven't done Christmas, and he's just really excited, like, to share Christmas with them. And, a couple towns away, there's one of those houses. Our house is one of those houses, but there's one of those houses.
At the Griswold house?
It's a Griswold house, but they have hooked up to an AM radio station, and the lights are cued to the music that plays.
AM
type thing, and it's awesome. And I took him there a couple years ago. We were kind of there. And I'm like, hey, we're going to hit this on the way home. No, it's stupid. Why do we? And now, like today, coming back from his football game, he's like, hey, can we take Lucas to see the house in Wilmington? I'm like, yes, we can take Lucas to. So it's nice. At this point in time, I was hoping my oldest boy would have been really irresponsible, knocked up some chick, and I'd have, another little kid in our life. But, because, management has, a 5 and 3 year old work kid, but, they don't. They do.
I'm just imagining the household that is your household with all of you, and then Grayson as the single dad at his age. I'm thinking,
no. Be one of those things where the kid wouldn't know that Grayson's his dad, thinks it's his older brother till he's like in the John Lennon thing. The John Lennon thing.
Jerry Lee Lewis.
Right. Well, I don't want him to knock up his 14-year-old cousin. Like I don't want
that was another thing, Okay.
But no, I do. I love everything. I love everything about Christmas. I do. As just management, and we do. We have. It's nice because our good friend Renetsky has come in for a couple of years. We usually have
couple of years.
Yeah, she comes in on Christmas. I think she's spending Christmas with her mom. But we do have another friend who.
Oh, I thought she was going to be there for a couple of years.
You said coming for a couple of years. She's been coming for the past few years. Yes,
she could definitely. She actually.
Stewardess, I speak Jacques.
Hey, blood. Across the street, she actually, when the house went on sale a few years ago, she's like, maybe I should move there. We're like, maybe you should. There's a hospital, honestly, a mile and a half down the street. You could get a job there tomorrow. But no, we do have at least one friend. There's possibly a second friend who's going to be staying here Christmas Eve. It's going to be interesting because management has to go to Chicago for work for starting on Wednesday, and she gets back on the 23rd at night. And it's funny because again, the boys, they kind of we're over all this stuff, and then when they heard mom's gonna be gone, it's like, you're home for Christmas, right? It's like, yeah, okay, all right, you guys want to be all tough and all over it, but you still want your little mommy here at Christmas.
Niagara Falls, Frankie, sweetie.
Attila the Hun. So and it's funny because again, management and I love Christmas movies. It doesn't matter if the boys are here, we will watch all of them. The animated ones, Prepped and Landing is one of our favorites. The new one that came out last year with Ryan Reynolds and Will Ferrell,
Yes. It's what is it called? It's like a Scrooge.
Good movie. Afternoon.
Yes. Good afternoon. Yes. We'll put it in the description of the podcast.
I love it. Absolutely love it. And again, it's like I don't think it's not a Christmas thing. Joe and I quote It's a Wonderful Life year round. It's a year round thing.
Potter isn't selling, Potter's buying. And why? Because we're panicking and he's not. No, we can get through this. We just got to stick together.
No one stopped you, by the way. No one, Hey, Biff, what's your favorite Christmas movie that you inflectively go into rants over?
No, I mean, so you have to understand that, like, I was raised in a Japanese household, and Christmas is not a holiday in my country. So Christmas is kind of at the Valentine's Day level in Japan. So,
which in Japan, the women get the men presents on Valentine's Day.
Correct.
If I'm not correct. See how much I listen. See how cultured I am?
Oh yeah, well, if you're so cultured, what traditional food do Japanese people usually eat on Christmas?
On Christmas, what tradition? I'm going to say
I'm going to give you a hint. It's a type of fast food.
Oh, interesting. Well, I'm not sure if whale is fast food in Japan.
No.
But we did hear about the whale vending machine.
I'll give you another hint.
It wasn't a whale vending machine. It's a horse vending machine.
Okay, all right. What's with the long face? I'm at a vending machine. Is it McDonald's? Is McDonald's a big thing over there?
It is for a different reason, but not for the Christmas reason.
What is it, Joe? You have me stumped.
It's Kentucky Fried Chicken.
Fried chicken.
Really?
You have to reserve your Christmas Kentucky Fried Chicken. Like, you cannot. Kentucky Fried Chicken on Christmas Day is like honey baked ham over here, where there's just a line of people there to pick up their Kentucky Fried Chicken. If you didn't reserve it, you're not going to get your Kentucky Fried Chicken.
So my people don't have the market cornered on white trash. That's what I'm hearing.
It's actually something that started like in the 80s. I didn't know about this until relatively recently, because that was never a thing when I was Kentucky Fried Chicken was relatively new in Japan when I lived there. So, but yeah, it was this marketing campaign that went like bananas.
I would watch a 3-part documentary series on Netflix on how Kentucky Fried Chicken took over Christmas in the land of the rising sun. I would
Spirited, by the way. Spirited.
Thank you.
That's
Good afternoon.
Ryan Reynolds, Will Ferrell. A fantastic, shot in Boston.
Yep.
Fantastic new holiday classic.
Instant. I think the first airing, it became an instant holiday classic. So yeah, so that's what's going on here. This all the other stuff. The struggle with our kids. They're at the age where it's tough to get presents for because what is it? Oh, right. They're spoiled and privileged and have everything you fucking want. Like every day is Christmas with them. Like the oldest one plays games, and it's like if he wants a game, well, he has a job on the weekends as a lifeguard. He makes like $120 a week. He buys a new game every 2 or 3 weeks, 3 or 4 weeks. It's like, he has all the clothes he needs. He's not like a fashionista. He has like 3 or 4 really nice sweatshirts. That's it.
You know what? Maybe you should now introduce to Grayson the new holiday tradition: Christmas shopping. Getting presents for others.
So yeah, the little guy comes down because the world ended. I don't know if you know this. The world ended about a week ago because FIFA 2024 was released, and he didn't get it the moment it came out. And he's like, I need to get it right now. And I'm like, you know what? We have a different definition for the word need. You need oxygen to breathe. And I said, dude, Christmas is...
This is coming from a guy who insisted that he needed to go to the bar to go see New England Patriots game every Sunday. So I think he has the correct definition of need.
All right. He learned it by watching you.
Biff, when I don't go to the bar anymore, and they lose. When I went to the bar and watched, they won. So maybe this is on me.
I'm just saying, I think his definition is pretty accurate based on yours examples.
So but seriously, I was like, dude, Christmas is in 3 weeks. We're struggling to get you something. 10 minutes later, his brother comes in and says, hey, can I get the code for the PlayStation Network? I'm going to get Tristan. I'm going to buy it for Tristan. I'm like, I said, that's great. You can. but you can buy it for him for Christmas, you know. And then a couple hours later, they went around me, started a Google account, started a new PlayStation thing, and he went and got it. And we don't know what to get them. We do outings like my family, like my sister and stuff. Instead of getting presents, it's like, hey, we'll do this together, so, which I think is nice. I think because honestly, they don't need anything. And but
Right.
what is nice is they now have shopping lists for a couple of friends of theirs who aren't as privileged and spoiled, and it's like,
Right.
great, you know. And it's true, it's you don't really get Christmas until you're the one giving gifts, I think.
Oh yeah.
Well-
I mean, I remember when I first got basically a full-time job, and I went nuts like buying my sister. You know, I had like one younger sister who I lived with, and she, you know, asked for a bunch of stuff for Christmas, and I got her everything on the list. Everything on the list. And it was
Wow.
like it was one of those things where it's like she one of the things she asked for was this is how long ago it was. There was a CD organizer.
Oh,
So
Mm.
I got her the CD organizer, and that's what I wrapped everything. Like I wrapped the CD
Oh.
organizer, but inside the CD
The
organizer was everything else that she asked for.
That's cool.
So
Dude,
like all the CDs, like all the little everything
Yeah.
else. Yeah.
it's like, and one of my favorite Christmas. I mean, it's hard to remember what I got for Father's Day. Oh, like nothing. I'm 8, maybe I'm 9. We didn't have stuff, but my sister was babysitting. She bought me a bike for Christmas, and to this
Wow.
day, like that, I've just had the best sister. Like, you know, she has, because mom worked 3 jobs, so she went from being like, you know, 7, 8 to like 14 and responsible overnight. Like she was and how crazy is that? Like I look at, you know, kids now, it's like she was babysitting, and I don't mean watching me and my brother while mom went to the store. I mean, the neighbors are going out for the night, getting home at 2 a.m, drunk, and she's watching their kids for $5. But she bought me that bike. And
That's
that,
cool.
that I think is when Christmas really hit home for me. It's like, oh, this is how she felt about that. But it's true. It's like, you know, the outreach and giving, but especially if it's somebody, dude, that's a great, Joe, I've known you forever. I didn't know that story. Now, you know, that's wonderful.
Yes.
So,
So you know, in my so I gotta say, this is really, you know, everybody thinks it's really sad, and it's not really for me. But I actually don't have like these Christmas memories, because like we never really Christmas gift giving really isn't a thing in Japan. So I don't remember actually getting, you know, Christmas gifts of any significance, like ever. Like I don't remember any. There was not, definitely zero of that. Oh, I'm gonna wake up for Christmas to open my presents. That was not a thing in my household. But what the Japanese do, which is I think is, you know, a little bit makes it easier, on New Year's Day, kids get cash, and that's it.
Oh, nice.
No shopping. Kids get cash.
Wait, so the cash goes into like a sensible savings account with a
that's
good
what it
interest
often
rate.
is. No, so what's funny is that it is very typical. I've had this conversation with Scotty Black, where the kids get that New Year's cash, and then mom will always take a lot of it away to say that's too much money for the kids. And
I know, it's like,
Right?
what the hell?
yeah, that's kind of how it works. So I asked Scotty, did that happen at your household? He said, oh yeah, yeah. And to be fair, right, when you're getting like, I mean, you might be calling in like, you know, like $800, you know.
Oh yeah, I mean, it's kind of like when a homeless person wins the lottery. You know, it's
Yeah.
just like, oh no, that's too much money for a homeless person. I mean, I'm
Right.
sorry, unhoused.
Yeah.
Did I make some? I made a. That's a bad analogy, and I apologize to all the unhoused out there. But yeah, no, right.
I'll be honest with you. You know, we can't even. You know, we have like, you know, 18 people listening to our podcast. I don't know who that would have offended of the 18. So
well, Biff, when you end up having, you know, your kid did I'm guessing he had a traditional Christmas, right? Did you-
yeah. So we've been, you know, so I've been, you know, obviously I've been on, but I've, you know, I mean, and obviously, you know, I married into, you know, into a fatherhood. So, you know, that's, you know, so in my house, you know, as we do this, right? But I'm like the worst person for them to shop to, because you know, like I never want anything, and I don't really feel like I want anything for Christmas. And then But if I really feel like I need something, I just kind of get it. So
Right.
yeah, I'm the worst person to shop.
Well,
with.
You know what I want for Christmas? 5 minutes alone.
I always say, am I a bad person because on Father's Day, the one thing I want is just not see my fucking family? Have a kind of Father's Day that my father always got. Episode 4, Daddy Issues.
But it became Father's Day every day for him after a while.
But the first few years, I just thought he was really good at hide and seek. No, but recently it's funny because management is talking about, we want to do a family trip to London. We want to do a family trip, to Japan. And she was saying, hey, we have to cut talking with the boys. We have to be smart about these things. It's like, we can't go to Wendy's on the way to your football game to the little guy and then hit Friendlies on the way back. It's $10 here, it's $15 here. And look, we're not going to buy X, Y, and Z. We all have to cut back on this. I'm cutting back. And then the youngest one was like, well, what's Papa cutting back on? And my, management looks at him. The little one goes, tell me what Papa buys for himself. Like when Papa goes to the store, go think about this for a second. What's in the cart? What, and it's like, because I don't, Biff. It's like, I'm a minimalist. My
you know what you get? A receipt. Every time that's the only thing that you come out of that store with.
And that's the thing. It's like, it's true. It's like, I'm happy them getting things. I don't want things but my thing is spending time with my friends on a podcast and going and doing stand up. I'm happy enough doing that. I don't need, things. So I am a hard person to buy for. So I say, don't buy me things. Yeah. So get something for this, do something. We'll do an event together. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's like, let's, if you want to give me a Christmas present, sit here and watch It's a Wonderful Life with me.
Or just recite the movie from the beginning.
Right.
And
right. Or sit there while I recite the movie from the beginning because you're going to fuck it up and it's too important for you to fuck up, you little fucks. No, but I do. I do. I love the holidays. Love everything about them. I'm already sad that they're almost over.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I do. I love the. I love the music. Taylor Swift put out a Christmas song a few years ago. Oh, Biff, you. So. Growing up, I had to hate bands because they're snob. Even through college,
okay,
I started to get to that age maybe 10, 15 years ago where I'm like, hey, this isn't my thing, but it's good. Or, hey, you know what? There's more value in this. And we talked about it a while ago. When China got music, they got everything at once. So they were simultaneously being introduced to the Beatles. Biff, I cannot believe in the last week, I might have, from start to finish, at least 12 times, A Twisted Christmas by Twisted Sister.
Oh, Twisted Sister, yeah.
What a fantastic Christmas album. One song, I forget which song it is. It's We're Not Gonna Take It.
It's Oh Come All Ye Faithful.
Yeah, thank you.
He used to sing, Dee Snider used to sing in a choir as a kid. So, that's it comes from a genuine place.
Yeah. It feels it. It's the music is great. It's one of my. I can't believe it's like if you asked me 10 years ago, it's like, oh yeah, Twisted Sister's fine, a couple good songs, but would it be one of my favorite Christmas albums?
Howard Stern recently did a segment on the shittiest adaptations of rock songs into Christmas songs. And one of them was Tommy Two Tone's Jenny. They did a charity thing for some album, and it was just Santa Jenny, and it was just Santa Claus is coming to town, and it was just the worst. But the Oh Come All Ye Faithful / We're Not Gonna Take It came up, and they're all you know what, this one's actually pretty good. We can't make fun. We can't make fun of this one.
And it's how has with friends like you, with friends like Scotty, I have my friend Mike Sullivan. How have you people not sat me down earlier and said, you know what, you're gonna love this?
I don't know if you've noticed this, but only one person in this this conversation goes around saying, oh my God, this is great, and sends a blast text to everybody. Only one person does that. And I am not one of them.
You mean, no, your blaster, I have Joe telling me, oh, that's a stupid lemon jockey. That's a lemon you're going to get. I have that voice in my head in stereo.
It's yes.
The
bombardment of negativity. Yes.
No, but
We're the yin and yin of your for you as far as that goes.
But-
Yes. What else?
but that the world sucks, and I'm making an effort to kind of not follow news, which it's hard to
Okay.
do because it's so around us. But the orange freak just keeps. I would love to be able to go one day without hearing about that person. Just that's my Christmas. If I could have one wish, it's all the kids in the world. to help dance together.
I'll be honest with you. Most days I don't hear about that orange freak because I don't watch the news, and I don't really, cruise through, Twitter much anymore. And then and the only news that I watch is just to keep my Japanese sharp. So it's like, I get the goofy news from Japan, and that dude doesn't make that frequent of an appearance.
It's funny that I referenced you yesterday, by the way. My little guy's best friend is from Brazil, only English speaker in the house. And I asked him, can you still read and write in Portuguese? He's like, yeah, but not as much. And I'm like, you know what, dude? You have to. You got to stick with it. It's like a second.
Don't be Joe.
No, don't be Joe. Don't be my wife. Like my wife is like same with all of the children of immigrants who thought learning their parents' language, or immigrants themselves who wanted to assimilate and didn't want to, and it's funny because I was telling him the story. My brother-in-law's from Colombia, but my sister has a special needs bilingual master's degree from UConn, and the idea was they were going to be a Spanish-speaking household. Outside the house, the girls would be immersed in English, but in the home. But my brother-in-law was so desperate to lose his very thick accent. He took dictation class. I mean, he has failed miserably, and I'm glad because his accent is such a part of who he is, and it's endearing, and it's sweet, and it's his culture. But his girls end up getting to high school, and they're like, thanks, dicks. like could have been the easiest, and they did. They passed Spanish with flying colors. But it's one of those things where I wish we were able to give our boys the gift of a second language. But I'm like, Lucas, dude, you got to keep with it. Just, I don't care if it's a children's book, a Sesame Street book. Just read a Portuguese thing every day for 5 minutes. Learn to read it, learn to write. It's going to open doors that you have no idea would not have been open to you, and this is somebody who's seriously dyslexic, who tried so hard to learn a language and can't. People I know who speak 2 languages fluently pick up a 3rd language, like picking up a luggage at the airport. It's so much easier to, pick things up here and there. But anyways, when you brought that up, it's like, yeah, I'm glad that you keep up with your Japanese, is because I asked you at one point or another, if your brother becomes your roommate, would Japanese be the language in the house? And you're like, no, I don't think so.
Yeah, probably not. Nah.
Well, Biff, they're telling us you have to go. I'm getting a word in my ear.
Yeah,
you have a hard out.
Is it a Christmas party you're going to?
No. But
okay. Well, Biff, I will. Will I talk to you before the new year? Will we have one more podcast?
Well, depends. I mean, sure. If you're at 14 to 9, it's it's going to be 23rd.
It'll be the 23rd, Nick. 2 weeks from today.
Oh my goodness! What a Christmas present to the listener.
Yeah.
Their Christmas does fall on a Monday this year.
You're welcome, everybody.
Yes,
you're welcome, Carnival personnel. Audience. All right, Biff, we will let you go, and we'll keep the the loved ones. Goodbye.
Bye.
Fuck! I thought he'd never leave.
Oh my God! Now we can really talk about.
That shirt he wears. It's like, I wish I had it.
What's with that background? At least put some effort. We have like fake backgrounds. He does nothing.
No, he's just a fake person, is what it comes down to. Yeah. So let's get into it. Let's get into what's really happening. It's happened maybe for the 6th or 7th time in the last 10 years. Yeah, I've fallen down the Resident Evil 5 since we've talked about it last week with our friends on the sideshow.
What a pathetic loser.
Dude,
by the way, I started playing Resident Evil 4. So
it's great, right?
I mean, I've played it before,
but the updated one with the smoother controls,
dude. Honestly, I suck at Resident Evil. I played it for here's why I'm a bad person. I borrowed it from the library, which is great. It's great to live in a country that still has a library system in place where you can borrow media, including video games, for extended periods of time. You borrow for 2 weeks, it renews every other week, or it renews every 2 weeks for another 2 weeks, like twice. So you can, in theory, borrow a game for 6 weeks. I borrow this game. I'm on week 5 with this game. I just started playing it today, and I'm just getting into it, and I don't know. Like I gotta get used to it. I mean, like, yeah, it's cool and very good, and it's smoother than the original one from 2005. But I suck at Resident Evil. Like I just because you have the limited amount of inventory. You can't just pick up everything and hold on to it indefinitely. You got to manage your inventory. You have to know when to shoot. Like when you first in Resident Evil 4, you first enter a town that's inhabited by a bunch of zombies, and you're told to fight them off, which I tried to do. So I waste all my ammo and I blow everything away. And then all of a sudden I'm about to die. And then this bell goes off, this church bell goes off, and all the zombies lumber into the church. And that's the beginning of the game. Like literally the title pops up, Resident Evil 4. And I'm like, oh, okay. So I didn't need to waste all of my ammunition. Like I could have tried to melee and run around and just kind of wait it out. So there's that. But yeah, I don't know how far I'm going to get into Resident Evil, and plus, it's scary. Like it kind of, it's a little, it's it's gross.
If you play it with headphones, like the boys were playing it, it's considered the best or one of the best Oculus games. Not in the Resident Evil thing, like that game in the pantheon of games available on the Oculus. Because of my motion sickness, but more because of my my wimpy sickness. It's like, no, I couldn't do it in a dark room. Like I couldn't do it with the Oculus on and be immersed with the sounds.
Right, the sensory deprivation on top of being scared shitless. No, thank you.
It's because with the weapons, for those who aren't games, like you can only have so much. But if your gun holds 10, you gotta constantly refill it if you can. And then you can have some of your supply because you fold it into into the weapon.
Yep.
And then you have to carry stuff. So when you're playing the game, you have to know when to hold them.
Right.
And then you have to know when to fold them.
Now, when the zombies are chasing you, do you walk away?
No, you run.
Oh. Now, when I pick up the pesetas, do you count how many pesetas?
No. You can count. You don't count your money when you're being chased by zombies. You can.
All right. Will there be time later?
When the dealing's done. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Who would have been great at that? Our resident Kenny Rogers lookalike, Bill Fay.
Oh, am I right? Like little white Jesus, little Kenny Rogers. But then again, I've never seen Kenny Rogers and Jesus in the same room.
I was going to say, wasn't Kenny Rogers the white Jesus anyway?
I always thought so. No, it's funny. My one piece of advice to anybody playing Resident Evil games, it was bestowed upon me by our friend Chris, the senior Resident Evil correspondent for Carnival Personnel. Run. Just run. You can run away from, even in the boss fights, you can run, regroup, find a place to hide for a second, collect yourself, and just keep running,
right. I come from that sort of Doom mentality where it's like a monster, I have to blow it away. Like I have to clear the room. Like if it's moving and it's not me, I have to shoot it until it's dead. It's a whole different way of thinking.
But I will say, I haven't played Resident Evil 5 in a while, and there's these mini games. Dude, it's been a couple years, and I'll be like, oh, there can't be anybody in the waiting room waiting to do these. No. It's
online,
right? It's still there. Like, you don't have to wait more than a couple minutes. I will say how sad it is. Like, wait, I think I recognize that. Has this person, just like me, just jumped back on after 2-year hiatus, or have they been playing this game every day?
They've been there the whole time.
Oh,
yes.
It was inside you the whole time. So are you getting any new games for Christmas?
I don't know. I'm sure, but I mean, the thing is, the game that I kind of would want to get is on the PlayStation 5, which I don't have because it's a lot of money and that's enough. I can't. I gotta I have to be happy with the Xbox Series X that I bought last Christmas. So I won't be able to play the new Spider-Man game for some time, But I am going to start looking into more borrowing games from the library instead of just buying games, because it's cool to buy the games. Like I bought this new Super Mario Wonder game that came out for the Switch because it's a Mario game. But one game that I didn't buy that I borrowed recently and 100%ed was Bowser's Fury. Super Mario Bowser's Fury. It was like a side game for Super Mario Brothers. It was like an open world experiment that it's a very short game. Like it's much more shorter than the regular big budget Super Mario games. But it was like in order to buy that, you have to buy it with another game that's like $60, and I'm not doing that. And like I already have the other game, so to borrow it and play it for a couple of days and beat it, perfect. But I might be going that route for a while. But I mean, as far as buying new games, maybe I'll buy games for my kids. But for myself, I don't know. When a sale comes up, again, that's the other thing, is that the video game awards happened this past week, and they're promoting games that are coming out like in the new year. It's kind of like a second E3, where they just showcase. It's like a big, showcase for video games. And I'm thinking to myself, wow, all the really good games already kind of came out this year, and it's weird that they're doing this now. You'd think they'd be promoting games for the Christmas season because that's when parents buy their kids games. And then I immediately caught myself, and I'm like, wait a minute, idiot. The video game market is not parents buying their kids games anymore. It's not 1992.
Right.
It's adults who have disposable income, who whenever a game comes out, whether it's January, February, March, they just buy it day one.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. Yeah.
Or you pre-buy it before it comes out. You pay $5, and then the day it comes out, it automatically downloads. Or you get the text message from GameStop saying, "Hey, you little junkie."
Or you buy the $150 collector's edition with all the shit that you don't need.
Oh, I didn't want to brag. And I'll correct you on that you didn't need. So it's funny about not needing and things that keep coming back. Dude, you got to give credit to the people at games like Fortnite. Fortnite, biggest thing in the world. Absolute biggest thing in the world. My 12-year-old and 9-year-old loved it. My 11-year-old and 7-year-old loved it. Absolutely the greatest thing. Then it becomes a piece of dog shit that nobody watches, nobody plays. You have to be a loser to play. Oh, wait a minute.
They added a new thing.
There's this, my oldest guy who likes rap, isn't a huge Eminem fan, but likes Eminem. He works one day a week as a lifeguard, teaching underprivileged kids how to swim. He wanted to call in because there was going to be an Eminem concert inside Fortnite. And there was a Travis Scott concert inside Fortnite like 2 years ago that became this kind of a sticking point because the server could only let so many people into this, and people were in the waiting room for like waiting to get into a Taylor Swift concert if they were selling tickets at the door that day only.
Right.
And people were like trying to log on, and then everybody in the world, it's a live thing, people logging. And so now they've gone back and forth. Now they made a partnership with Lego. And so now there's a Lego Fortnite, and I'm looking down at the text message thing saying, "Can I get V-Bucks?" Which is, I thought buying V-Bucks was a thing of the past. I thought they realized it's like, no, you don't need this crap.
You're right. Yeah, it's hard. Old habits are hard to break, and then God forbid, 10 years from now they get nostalgic for shit like this, and they're gonna rebuy. They're going to rebuy Fortnite for the new platform. I remember playing Fortnite, and now it's better than ever. And I don't know. Yeah. So
this PlayStation 12 is just.
Yeah. And there's only 2 PlayStation 12s available. And, Elon Musk has both of them. Yeah. So it's, Christmas will be different this time of year or this year. Just because, expenses are up. Cost of living is up. Income isn't as up to keep up with the rest of the up. Yeah,
one quarter at a time.
Yeah. But
no.
do you want to move on to what we're watching?
Sport. There's nothing going on in sport, except again, my life isn't as crazy as it was because a month ago the little guy was on 2 football teams and his brother was on an American football team. But right now, the oldest one joined the high school swim team, which is crazy because I didn't play high school hockey. I didn't play high school hockey, so I didn't get the Letterman jacket. And here's my theater kid freshman who's played varsity football this year and is now on the varsity swim team. At least their practices are at the trade school a half a mile away, same place he's a lifeguard on the weekend on Saturdays for the little rec department. So that's it. And I'm kind of bummed because the other one, football's only twice a week and he needs more, but
that's why you got to get him FIFA,
so
he can fill the gaps.
But he is, so we got to figure out what winter kind of thing.
Winter is coming.
That's the only sports, Biff's not here to tell us what's going on with the NHL.
Yep. Yeah. I mean, did you know that there's an NBA tournament happening now? That's what is that? I'm old and a nerd.
Just this year. And I don't know the details, but they decided. What I know about the NBA is this, Joe. The NBA season starts a week or two after the NHL in the beginning of August. But the NBA really doesn't start until Christmas Day. Like Christmas Day is, outside of the playoffs, the most watched NBA day of the year. Like they have a triple header of football on Christmas, and they've done that for 20 years. That's when the NBA season really starts, because baseball starts early April, but does it?
Right.
The NFL, because there's so few games, it starts day one. The first game in the NFL matters. It really, really does. College football, you lose your first game and you just kiss. There's the top 5 bowl games off the plate. You know what I mean?
Right.
So
they're playing the My Pillow Bowl.
Right, thank you. Oh, Jesus Christ! For all the products you could have referenced, but so the NBA decided, let's do an intern, and I honestly think, and maybe I'm giving too much credit to things like Welcome to Wrexham and Ted Lasso, where people are starting to kind of adapt a European feel to American sports, because they have what's called the FA Cup in England, where all the teams are eligible to play, like the 5-6 divisions, from the FA Cup in England is, all the teams, whether you're the Manchester United, aka the New York Yankees, or the Pittsfield Suns single A collegiate baseball, and your names are thrown into the hat, and the Pittsfield Suns could be playing Manchester U. It's an in-season tournament. And also relegation is being talked about with the MSL and the USSL, the junior varsity version of American soccer over here, that, hey, maybe we should adopt the relegation and promotion league that they have for football, everywhere else in the world. Yeah, but the NBA said, you know what, let's have an in-season tournament the second and third month of the season to kind of, and I think it's a 1-game elimination. Everybody's in it.
And I think the winners get paid more. Right?
They get it like a bonus. And let's face it, if you're LeBron on the Lakers and your salary is $30 million a year and your endorsements are a gazillion dollars a year, it's just,
LeBron's one guy out of hundreds of guys on that.
Yes, league. But it is. It's the lowest paid guy in the NBA is not the lowest paid guy in the NFL. You know what I mean? Or the NHL. But still, it's bragging rights, I think. But and I was only know this much about it because, I was driving the other day and listening to NPR, and they were basically saying this is the first year, and the reason it's been successful is LeBron has been taking it really super seriously. Like he dropped 30 points in a game the other day, which is he's elevating his play. He's treating it like it's a real thing. So other players are treating it like it's a real thing.
Yeah, I guess it appeals to the over-competitive overachievers, the legends, the superstars of the NBA. Like if Michael Jordan had that same
thing,
right. Like he'd be like, oh yeah, no, I'm winning this fucking thing.
Pete Rose ended an all-star catcher's career and an all-star game.
By crashing into him.
Right. Very fast. Like 1976, 78. Trying to score on a bloop single from second base. The guy wasn't a catcher. He was playing in the All-Star game, an all-star catcher, and he ruins the guys. And back then, like now, about like 20 years ago, they said, oh, whoever wins the All-Star game, the National League team, if the National League win the All-Star game, the National
home
League
field
will
advantage.
host. Right, in the World Series. That could actually make a difference coming for Game 7, type thing. A Game 5, a Game 7.
Right, you play for home field advantage in the World Series.
But back then, right, same thing. Michael Jordan. I can't imagine Michael Jordan in an in-season tournament. You know what I mean?
He took everything seriously. Like if you challenged him to a game of paper, rock, paper, scissors.
Yeah.
He'd be like, okay, it's on, motherfucker. We're gonna be playing this until I win.
Hey, paper, rock, scissors. Thank you for the oldest guy wants to hit the gym more, and the youngest guy kind of does, but kind of doesn't want to. So we've been hitting the gym, and it's funny. There's only so many certain machines, and me and the oldest guy get to a machine walking up from the left as another dude gets there walking up from the right at the same time. And he's like, are you using this? It's like, yeah, we're going to. He's like, oh, okay. Because, I'm so intimidating looking. And I said, I tell you what, rock, paper, scissors. And it was really fun that we did rock, paper, scissors to see who got to use the machine. So
2 out of 3 or?
We did 2 out of 3. We did
okay,
2 out of 3.
That's fair.
Because I won the first one. And he's like, Don, I said, dude, where you going? That's, you know how this works, babe. Get back over here.
Yeah.
So yeah. No, thank you for bringing that back.
Is it 1, 2, 3 shoot?
Yeah.
Or one.
Yeah.
Okay. There
yeah.
we go.
One. And we established that at the beginning.
You do the old,
2, 3.
banging the fist.
Yep.
Yeah. Banging your fist on your palm. Yeah.
Yeah. And just to settle things like that, and in between two adults.
I think that's the modern day duel. It's a sophisticated.
Think where this country would have been if Alexander Hamilton had done rock, paper, scissors with Aaron Burr.
Hey, we wouldn't have had Hamilton.
You know what? I'm glad he's dead.
Yes. Good riddance, I say.
No, but that's it. I mean, are you watching anything, Joe?
Oh, am I?
Are you?
You know what I'm watching or have watched.
Oh.
It's a little documentary about a certain special. A special, if you will, a CBS special presentation, a holiday special from 1978. It's called A Disturbance in the Force, How the Star Wars Holiday Special Happened. And it is executive produced by Adam F. Goldberg, who did the Goldbergs. And it is fantastique, magnifique.
Is it longer than the special?
No, it's actually shorter. I think it's 90 minutes. The special, maybe without commercials.
Okay.
Well, it's about the same, but it's everything you hoped for. Virtually everything you hoped for. Like I think the only person that didn't make on-camera appearances were the main cast of Star Wars and George Lucas, but like the producer, the secondary director that was called in because the first director was let go. Bruce Valanche, comedy variety special writer extraordinaire. You have guest appearances by Weird Al Yankovic, Patton Oswalt, Gilbert Gottfried.
Oh, I'm glad. Okay.
Seth Green, Taron Killam. He's funny in this thing too. Just great overall. It paints a picture of what maybe what the kids today wouldn't know what a variety show was.
Which I think is sad.
I mean, it lays everything out. It's like, here's Star Wars, right? Here's the phenomenon of Star Wars. We kind of go through the motions. Yeah. Now here's what we have to do in the years between Star Wars: A New Hope and Empire Strikes Back, or just back then it was called Star Wars and The Empire Strikes Back. We got to keep this gravy train rolling, and there's only so many things that we can do. What do? Well, we have these variety shows where celebrities make guest appearances on. Okay, let's do one with R2D2, C3PO,
and
Chewbacca.
B. Arthur.
And no, and Donnie and Marie Osmond,
Right?
because they had that.
Oh,
they had that sketch that appeared with also Paul Lynde as like a Moff Tarkin type. But they had like this big cheesy musical number. Chris Christopherson played Han Solo.
They had big musical numbers, is what you meant to say.
Yes. I'm sorry, I misspoke. But the long and the short of it is that, look, those types of variety specials helped keep the Star Wars fandom alive, and they actually get into the person who was responsible for building up the hype at these Comic-Cons for Star Wars before Star Wars was even released, and how they then parlay that into the marketing for Star Wars, the franchise, over the next couple of years. And then eventually the culmination of how did the Star Wars holiday special actually become what it was? And then where did it go awry? Well, how much did George Lucas actually do? What was he involved in? And you'd be kind of surprised. There's some interesting and very good information in this documentary. I can't recommend it enough. I wish the ending was a little too flip. I think it could have ended on a much higher kind of but overall it was very informative, very comprehensive, funny, and well done. 10 out of 10. I say.
No,
9 out of 10. I say.
I'm really hoping to get to watch it maybe tonight, depending on within the next like I said, management hits the road on Wednesday, and I have some more time.
There'll be time
because you see, it's not a paid position per se, but she's taken on a full-time second job of watching the entire series of Suits inside a month.
Okay.
She's now on the final season, which is on Peacock. The first 8 seasons were on Netflix. Hold on, I'll give everybody a chance to get a pen so they can write this down.
Right. No, you got it.
Okay. So the first 8 seasons are on Netflix, but for some reason the 9th season is on Peacock. So she's now. I honestly, every waking moment she has, and she works so much, but it's she's so desperate. It's so close to the end, and she needs to finish it. But now, because Suits has done so phenomenally well, they're talking about bringing it back.
Wow.
So I don't know if Meghan Markle is gonna be reprising her character.
You never know.
You never know. But yeah, no, that holiday special, you and I watched it for the first time together a few years ago, and I'll speak for myself. I'd seen it a number of times. Much more enjoyable watching it with somebody.
Oh God, yes. I mean, they even
great.
make in the documentary, they even have Seth Green talks about he rented out a theater to have all of his buddies kind of watch the Star Wars holiday special, or when they were, I think that maybe they were working on one of the robot chicken things.
Yep.
And he the first thing that they did was to get in the mood, we're going to watch the holiday special and we're just going to see how long people can last, everybody gets in there and starts, and then you tap out when you want. And, but just let's see who can make it the longest. And then immediately, people were just 5 minutes in, 10 minutes in, I'm out. They have a timer, or somebody asked the question, how much of the Star Wars holiday special at the beginning is there no discernible dialogue, because it all takes place in the Wookiee family, and they have a little fast forward motion, and it shows how much time it took. It's not a zero number, I'll tell you that.
And again, because it's 2023 and it was a star-studded cast from 1977, 78, you know. Yeah, I don't know. People realize, dude, Art Carney,
Big. And
money,
you know what?
money.
Also, thank God for Art Carney because he was the interpreter. They didn't want to do subtitles because they thought that American audiences at the time, the TV audiences, wouldn't want to read subtitles. You
They
know,
were probably right.
yeah, especially kids. You know,
Yeah.
so but let's instead put this Wookiee language on there for 9 minutes and 11 seconds.
No, I'm very much looking forward to the documentary. I really am. The only thing I've seen, like 15 minutes here, 15 minutes there. Al the Toy Man, who was a guest on the podcast, highly recommended The Bear.
Okay.
It's a little intense, kind of for me, but it's fun. It's good. I because it's so intense and it's a little too real, and the anxiety. No capes. Nobody's flying, but it is. And the first 4 episodes of season 2 of Invincible has dropped, which is great.
Yeah.
Like that is a really, really great. It took a turn, like episode 3, season 2. I'm like, oh shit, type thing. Finished Ahsoka finally. Loved it. Obviously it ended. Spoiler alert. It's like there has to be a season 2. It's like which maybe it doesn't have to, but I would be surprised.
Andor was a 1 season thing, right?
No. Andor was shooting when the strike happened.
Oh, right.
So it's been pushed, and they were like 90%, 80% done with principal photography, and then there's a 6 months hiatus, and so and it's like, and how like all that stuff works. So it was supposed to be next year, but probably 2025 release.
Yep.
We'll see. Well, we will definitely see. We never talk. We talk a little bit about podcasts, but what we watch, I will speak for both of us. If you like to laugh, you have to listen to Robert Smigel on Conan O'Brien a week ago. Like that, I called Joe and I'm like, I think I laughed more in the first 5 minutes before and for those who don't know, for the uninitiated, Robert Smigel is Triumph the Incel comic, a long-time writer on SNL, TV Funhouse, all those little like cartoons in like the 90s, the 80s and 90s on Saturday Night Live. But I mean, he's written more things than you.
The Bears.
And then he was on to promote his new movie Leo, with the stars animated movie, stars Bill Burr and Adam Sandler. It is fantastic. Did you see it yet?
No, but I will watch it out of respect to Robert Smigel because I've been in, like I texted you a while ago, I've been in nerd comedy heaven because Robert Smigel was on the Greg Fitzsimmons podcast. He was on, like you said, Conan O'Brien's podcast, and then I listened to a podcast called Talking Simpsons. They also it's 2 guys who talk about The Simpsons, but they also have a side podcast called What a Cartoon, where they talk about like cartoon shows and movies and stuff like that. And this month's episode was TV Funhouse's Christmas episode, which is great. But again, TV Funhouse. Not Saturday TV Funhouse, which is what the animated stuff, like those little interstitials on Saturday Night Live were, but this is the Comedy Central, like 13 episode, maybe, like 1999, 2000 era. It was like a once a week show. And it was like a cheesy takeoff of like a 60s kids show where they show cartoons. But it has a lot of animal puppets. It has a lot of real animals. Has this kind of like simple guy named Doug who's the host, and the Christmas episode is where he gets taken advantage of by like all the animal friends, the Pals.
Yeah.
And they want to steal his Christmas cheer, which they think is the tingly feeling you get on your spine. and they go, spine, eh? And then they basically give him a spinal tap and like take out the fluid, and then they freebase it and snort the Christmas cheer from this poor guy, and they go on this Christmas bender. It's fantastic, and it's great. And Robert Smigel, of course, voices two of the dogs, both of which sound suspiciously like Triumph.
But my thing with Conan is they love each other.
Yes.
And when you have, there's been different podcasters shows, and we've talked about it when different people on late night, whether it's Carson having Don Rickles on or something like that, which, by the way, no, I won't go down that rabbit hole, but
right, that little documentary that Judd Apatow did with Bob Newhart, and the friendship between Bob Newhart and Don Rickles.
It's
20
wonderful.
minutes of magic. It's online. It's on like the New Yorker website of all places.
I mean, when you just think of those guys' comedy, and now think best friends.
Yes.
Like they would go on family trips to China together, which back in the 70s to go to China together.
Big deal.
Huge.
Thanks to Nixon.
Thanks to, only Nixon could go to China. But yeah, no, so I'm watching The Bear, watching that. Yeah, too. We do. We live in how I get any work done, how I ever leave the house.
Work.
Yeah, no, but that's all that's going on here. You got a parenting tip to wrap things up as we head off to the sunset and me go upstairs and play Resident Evil 5? Which one am I going to throw my 16-year-old off his system, the PS5 in his room, or do I go up to the other one and use the PS4? It's so many tough choices.
I don't know. The PS5 it doesn't offer graphical upgrades. You really don't know. I would say parenting tip. I think I gave it earlier. Teach your kids early, as soon as possible, the gift of giving.
Yep.
They really don't. These kids today, I mean, they don't know the value of a dollar. They don't know how to save for a house like I do. They don't know how. They just fritter it away on video games and fast food. I mean, wait, that's me. That's me. Don't do that. What you do is you teach your kids to give. They say, hey, by the way, now that you're making a little income, how about a little something for your kids? Not your kids. I'm sorry, your brother or your sibling or whatever, or your friend. Like
maybe your aunt needs a new CD organizer. Maybe look into it.
CDs are coming back. I hear.
Albums
Did they ever go away?
Yeah. I don't. Yeah, because no, I won't. I don't have a CD player in my car. I don't think they have them anymore.
I have a CD player in my car.
You do? Okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, no.
My parenting tip is give them the gift of giving.
My parenting tip is a little different. My little guy was in another scuffle at school this week, protecting a kid was getting bullied, and he went in and basically my parenting tip to him was you got to advocate for yourself at any and all costs. Long story short, this was the one time, well, it's not the one time, but in this case he clearly went to the aid of a special needs child who was getting bullied, and some bully decided to push him from behind, and he got up and he threw the kid a beating of a lifetime. And my parenting tip is good. It's funny because when we got the phone call and his brother's in the car next to me, and it's like, and the principal saying, oh, well, he went, he intervened, and the kid pushed him. He hit him in the face, and then the kid pushed him down on the ground and kicked him. And then he got up and blah blah blah. And my oldest one looked at me and goes, "How did he push him down?" Like my little guy's like great at grappling, and then it's like the little guy got on the counter. It's like, no, that's not what happened. This is how it happened. I looked at the other guy, made sure he's okay. That's when the guy pushed me and kicked me, and I'm like, oh, okay, great. So my parenting tip is, make sure your kid can throw a bully a good beating if he needs one.
Maybe you should teach your kid not to turn your back.
I did. Well, I said that to him. I said, dude, you've been trained. Why? He goes, I've never had a beef with this kid. I didn't think he was going to push me when I was helping up cars. He was helping the other kid. And I said, well, that's why you got to stand sideways. You know what I mean?
You always got to check your six.
Be in the stance. So, if he does have to, if he's going to try to push you, he pushes sideways and you fall into your stance. You don't, hit the ground and stuff like that. So, what am I doing? Why do people let me have kids?
Unfortunately, there's no vetting when it comes. Like, look at me. I mean, for crying out loud, right?
Your kids are great. Your kids right now are where again?
Being bullied.
Spreading Christmas joy. No, they're not coming to my house. No, but they're out. And look, they're all garbed up. They look like they're from the cast of Spirited. I've seen the pictures. They look magnificent. They both voices of angels, and they are out there spreading Christmas joy while you and I are talking about Resident Evil 5.
You know what? Maybe I should tap their spines and try to get some of that Christmas cheer for myself. So that's it. I mean, I don't know if we're going to do a regular podcast before Christmas or for Christmas. Who knows? I mean, who knows what our schedules will be. But maybe there'll be a Christmas miracle this year. But for now, we'll consider this the Christmas episode of Carnival Personnel 2023. Biff, we miss you already. R.I.P. Biff. Oh no, wait, he's not dead. He's just he just had to leave. He had a heart out. He had to skedaddle. He had other bigger fish to fry. Salmon, if you will. You'll get that later. Yeah, you know what? It was a blast talking to you. I'm going to say it here, Jacques. I love you. Merry Christmas. Happy Chanukah, as Smokey Robinson would say. Oh, my God. The thumping. Thumpity, thump, thump, thumpity, thump, thump. Listen to Jacques pound the table. Happy birthday. Oh, man. Oh, God. Watch your favorite Rankin Bass cartoon this holiday season. I don't know where you find it now. I'm sure you can rent it. Jesus, nobody watches TV anymore. It's not like you can't anticipate the CBS special presentation logo for that, one-time airing of Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. I guess you just have to rent it and pay money to the man. If you want to see those seminal holiday classics. Oh, you know what? I think they're on the cable channel, Fox, not Fox Family, ABC Family or Freeform, I think it's called now. They do the 25 Days of Christmas. So if you have cable still, like a troglodyte, then yes, enjoy those holiday classics. Watch Spirited. Watch It's a Wonderful Life. So that way you can quote along with me, scenes like, what's a good scene from It's a Wonderful Life that I haven't already done? What's that magazine? I've never seen that before. Well, of course you haven't. Only us explorers can get these kinds of magazines. I've just been nominated into the National Geographic Society. And one day I'll be able to travel the world and go across the sea, and maybe I'll have myself a couple of harems. You'll see. And then he bends down, and Mary Wilkes leans over and says, "Is this the ear you can't hear in, George? George Bailey, I'll love you till the day I die." And then I cry openly, weeping. That's how that movie ends. It just ends. I think that's the next hour is just me sobbing uncontrollably, wondering what I've done with my life. I'm sorry. No, that's not what I want to leave you with. I want to leave you with Merry Christmas, you old building and loan, you. Merry Christmas, Emporium. Merry Christmas, bank. Right? That's all it was. It was just like the bank. Oh, Mr. Gower's, place. That was also a business. Nick, remember, not Nick's. That was Martini's. Nick's is in the other place. He's Where do you come off calling me Nick? I don't know you from Adam's off ox. Out you two pixies go, through the door, out the window. Will you show these gentlemen to the... That old man, that old rummy was sent up for poisoning a kid for 20 years. If you know him, you must be a jailbird yourself. Will you show these gentlemen the door? And other scenes from the movie. This is called rambling. Jacques, you edit the dumb parts out and leave the smart parts in. But anyways, Merry Christmas to all, and to all, don't forget.
Did I forget something, big man?
God bless